All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another live stream. We're getting ready to reassemble a Echo 2511TN. As usual, gonna wait a few minutes for just to see or wait for whoever's going to be joining in today. But in the meantime, I hope everybody finds themselves doing good today. It's a beautiful day here in California. Blue sky, sunshine, a lot cooler temperature than what it's been. Of course, it is fall now, so it's not going to be as hot for too much longer. But anyhow, we got Val back in the house, and we got Double O. Welcome back, y'all. Good to see you both, and thank you for taking the time to tune into this second live stream. For those of you that are wondering, second live stream, but we were just doing another one, just kind of cleaning up the workbench a little bit, and so now this live stream is going to be specifically just reassembling this 2511TN. It's an Echo, and hopefully get it up and running here soon. Soon meaning today. So anyhow, Val is asking, hey, did you move to a new place? I did. So I'm no longer living in the town that I was living in, and now I'm living in a whole different town. Well, it's a city. I mean town, city. New place, new shop, house, different house. We have a lot more playground space for chainsaws here. So yeah, whole different, change, I guess you could call it. So very, very blessed and fortunate to have found this place, and I feel really good about it, especially for the shop and just living situation. So for those of you that have been following along, you guys know that I was living with my grandparents, and then I was living with my girlfriend for some time, and now I'm here in my own spot. Obviously we are still together, but it's just we're just doing it, man. We're just making it work, and as far as making it work, as far as like just hustling, working hard, and moving towards those next steps in life. So and so that's it. I don't own this house that I'm at now. I just rent. But I mean, it's a killer spot. Plenty of space to do really anything. Half acre yard, beautiful, nice, spacious garage that I now am making it, or I've made it into my little shop, and or well, it's not really little, but anyways, yes, a lot better now. Jeez, that was a long explanation. We got Liam back in the house. Yo. Liam is asking, when you're done with live stream, can you unblock me from my main account? I thought I already did. I thought this was your main account. Anyways, we'll talk about it. It's yeah. I mean, I just we're giving this a shot again, and some of you guys already know the whole background to this whole situation. Not to be a dick or anything, but anyways, Double O says, are you gonna do pumpkin carving? I really want to. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I want to carve, which I already have an idea, but we don't want to carve the pumpkins too soon, because then they just don't really, hold up that long after you carve them. But yeah, that is the goal. So anyhow, let's go ahead and get this thing going. So let's go ahead and get this thing going. So what I was gonna start on working on first is the handle. So we need linkages, springs, lockout lever, trigger, and I think that's about it for that. And then got to put the switch back in, the on and off switch. So let's see what we got going on here. And like I said, it's been a little over a year since I've done a 2511. That's gonna be interesting here. But the whole thing, and I've always said it, you don't ever want to rush into doing things. You know, just take your time and go with the flow, and that's how you get better. So let's see. So I know this goes like so. And anytime you're working with cables or anything like that, you really want to just be careful that you don't pinch anything or ruin anything. You know, cut the cables or any of that, because that's just not a good time. All right. So there we are. So there's the switch, on and off switch. Now, let's see. Start off with your trigger. It's gonna go something like that, I'm guessing. All right. Boom, 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 boom. And let's see. So this is gonna go on the opposite end, opposite side. So like so. Because then it'll go down here. Wait. I think it goes in. Something like that. That doesn't make sense. Let's see. Let's just kind of mock it up here. Okay. So then this must go, let's see. This goes in through this side. That goes in. Does that make sense? Yeah, we're gonna probably be here a little bit. But again, it's not about, you know, it's not about rushing through it. It's about just relearning at this point, you know, getting familiar with the 2511 and, you know, That's all it is, you know. And the truth of the matter is, the fact of the matter is that you know, as much as I've gotten comfortable with a lot of saws, um, it doesn't really matter how good I think I am, but you walk away from something for long enough. I mean, it's gonna take you a minute to remember, especially if you're not working on whatever it is that you're working on. So in this case, 2511s. If I'm not continuously working on these, I mean, um, you're gonna forget some things, and it's all part of the process. All part of the process. Double O says is asking, are you gonna keep it or sell it? So this one, which is the 2511TN, right now I have plans of keeping it. Um, the the donor 2511, or I might as well just call them what they are. So the 2511 TN, which is essentially brand new. I've only cut with it um, literally a handful of times just to do some test cuts when I bought it. I have plans of keeping it. The 2511T that that I got along the way, because it has I got it for super cheap, and essentially I got it off a trade and traded some work for it. And that one I do have plans on getting it up and going and selling it to whoever wants it. Do a couple little things to it, because I don't need two 2511s. So, but until I do get ready to sell that one, the 2511T, it's just going to be like an R&D saw. Just kind of see how far we can take it to the limits. So let's see. So the 2511TN, no plans of selling it. The T, I will be selling it eventually, because I just don't need to. But at this point, I just need to invest in a housing for it. So this whole deal, because it's cracked by the tank reservoir, and then work on the crankshaft, and then that should be it. So let's see here. What are we doing? Okay. Okay, I think I figured it out. Okay. I think. That's right. Okay. Right. Well, it makes sense for it to go this way, because then it catches here. So I think it's like this. But that doesn't feel right either. Man, this sun is really coming in. I came out here too late, because that sun, it's not hot temperature wise, but the sun itself is freaking hot. So let me see. So I think this will go in first. Double O says maybe you can weld plastic, get like a plastic weld on it. Maybe like an epoxy. That wouldn't be a bad idea to try. I mean, the bend is kind of, it's pretty. That might be a good option, just to mess around. I mean, if it is going to be an R&D saw, I mean, that wouldn't actually be half bad idea. Let's see. Okay, so I think it's going to go like this. Okay. I think nothing. I think yes. Oh. Well, that doesn't really make sense, does it? Oh, I think it is supposed to go. Okay. Let's see. I'm telling you, man, sometimes linkages and certain things can be very tricky, as you can see. It's just a matter of trying it a whole bunch of different ways. But I feel like it's supposed to go here, but that's not usually how. Oh, look at that. A squirrel is running across a power line. That's funny. Okay, don't let the linkage win. Don't let the lockout lever win. It is supposed to go in there. Okay. So if it's supposed to go, I don't know. Let me see. You know what? If I was smart, if I use my brain, I would look at to see how it's set up here on this one. Jesus. See? That's why you don't want to rush, man. You don't want to rush. Take your time and think. Because when you rush and you don't take the time to just think, and you just want to get it done, that's when you start getting frustrated, and usually, usually things break sometimes. Um, don't ask me how I know. Okay. How do you know? Well, well. Oh, it goes on the top. It goes like that, brother. Okay. See, sometimes it is good to have more than one of something because, you know, you might have to do a little. Oop. Look at that. Amazing. Man, that sun's hot. You know, I'm gonna have to move like down over here some because that shit, excuse my language. Oh, and then that's where it goes in. Ah, okay. Now it's all making sense. That's the only problem with this new shop. It has no front door essentially. So it's like, look at that. I mean, it's beautiful, right? But when you're standing there, it's not that great. And that's why I moved the mat when I'm not here because I don't want it to damage it. Because this right here is often, yo, man, where can I get one of those mats? And it's kind of cool to say, as much as I'd love to hook people up and tell them where to get it. And I do tell them, but it's hard to get it. That's the thing. It's just like, nah, man, like, you know, you can't really buy them. You got to just find someone that will hook you up. Okay. Oop. Don't want that coming out of there. But there you are. There is your lockout and trigger assembly. So it's locked. You push it down, and it goes into the little groove in there, and bam, 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 bam. Ripping. Okay, sheesh, that sun is hot. I know. Now I'm gonna be bitching about this sun, but it's like, damn. This is why it should have been out here earlier, but I was procrastinating. Here we go again with the procrastinating. Chingus. Anyway. All right. Well, that sucks. Let me, you know, I'm gonna move this because we're gonna just move it down the bench a little bit here because we ain't gonna be able to do. I'm not gonna be able to concentrate here. No good, man. No good. And thank goodness we have this here because the linkage. I mean, that's the easiest part of it. It's just one little link. Move this out of the way. I'll move you guys down. Come on down. Dolo says, "Can you hang a cloth on a ceiling or something or somehow?" I can actually. I was thinking about that. You know, using like a sunshade, and we sell them at work. You know, because I work at the hardware store, and I have. I think I might have. But see, I can hang it up. I can like staple it along there, and then it'll just come down all the way. So I think that's what I'm gonna have to invest in, because it gets kind of crazy. Let me know how the connection is, because Liam just commented some scrolling wheels, so hopefully the connection isn't getting bad. Probably is. Okay, so we're good here for now. So let me see what screws I need next. So I know I need T27. Boom. Let's go ahead and get this linkage. Actually, I might need a... Don't need nothing. Oh, okay. I had a feeling that the connection was gonna get bad once I moved further down here. Shit. Well, I'm gonna have to just keep you guys closer over here then. I'm gonna keep you guys closer to the doorway here, and I'm gonna just kind of work from over here, but hopefully it'll pretty much tell you guys what I'm doing here. So I'll show you. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the linkage in. I'm gonna need a booster. Let me see. Let's try it here. Okay, let's try this here. All right. So let's try it here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the linkage in. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work it in here first. And actually, maybe what I should have done is put the trigger in. Yeah. So let's go ahead and take this off. At least now we know what's going on. So take the throttle trigger out, then put the linkage in. And then work the linkage back down. And then work the spring into the all right, let's start this from new here. Oh, there we go. Nope. Okay, and then put that back in. Okay. There we are, peeps. Now, while being careful with, let me route those cables in to the other little groove. Let's see. There's one. Oh, my feet are on fire right now. At least I didn't wear sandals this time. Shit. Okay. All right. Now I can go ahead and put the molding in. Yee. Easy killer. Let's see here. Let's see. Take your time. got like a little groove. Okay, cables aren't pinching. Everything works as it should. So there's the handle. Now, figure out what screw goes where now. But there's not that many, so I mean it can only be so many. And a lot of the times what I've noticed is that just from working on these things, you can feel when a screw is meant to go in whatever thread you're if you're paying attention, and you can feel it. So but in this case it is going to be, let's see, I think so it's not going to be a machine screw, it's going to be a coarse thread. So it might be this one here. It's going to be a short little coarse thread. So my guess is going to be that one. And again, if you take your time, you can always tell and you can feel the threads. Yep. And always make sure to never over tighten. Boy, that sounds hot. So there it is. So now at this point, let's go ahead and get our top end in. So in this case, the flywheel is on, so looking at it this way, on the left hand side. So you look for your flywheel key, because that's where the rewind assembly is going to catch onto, the pawls and all that, or the flywheel and the pawls and all that shiza. It's going to go in through this side, like so. And it's funny, man, because, you know, I'm not trying to act all like, oh, yeah, like, all right, you know, the master. But you could, it's crazy how it, like, starts coming back. You know, it really is like riding a bike for this stuff, man, because it's just, it all just starts coming back. I'm not saying that I'm still not like, ooh, what am I doing? But you could feel it. Oh, you know what? There's actually one thing that I also don't have, that I also probably used it on a customer build, which I did, is the little dust cover that sits on top of the vent and the line. So anyways, but that's not really, I mean, it's important, but it's not like, you know. So this is gonna be okay, so it looks like we're doing all right. So for these screws, it's gonna be machine screw. It's gonna be a machine screw, so it's gonna probably be these ones here. Ooh, that one started getting a little. It's gonna be these little machine screws here. They're gonna go into to hold down the crankcase into the casing here. And then these longer ones are going to be for the carburetor. And then these are going to be, let's see, okay, I think we're in good shape here. So, but again, if you're not sure, you just got to try it. But if you feel like there's any resistance or anything like that, I would just say don't force it, because it's most likely not going to be, it's not going to be its home. But this feels perfect. Look at that. Amazing. You just got to feel it out, man. That's it. You just got to feel it out. Because essentially, if you don't remember where a screw goes, okay, this is maybe poor advice, but the screw will tell you where it goes. You just got to take the time to pay attention to the detail and all that. Loctite. Always use your Loctite wherever you can, wherever it's needed. Liam says take a margarita or something. A margarita your phone is because it's very good right here. 00 says it's satisfying to assemble with clean parts. I completely agree, and that is one of the main reasons why I always like to clean saws up when they come in, or equipment, because it's just easy, man. It's just easier. You know, you can see what's going on. It's just easier. And it's nicer. Of course, it looks great too at the end, but it's cleaning is essential for a lot of things, I feel like, but especially workability, you know. Damn, these screws got a little warped, a little corrosion going on. Might have to switch them out for some stainless steel, because, you know, that's the great thing about working at a hardware store. I mean, in general, you can't get me out of a hardware store, but then working at one, you learn a lot of things if you want to. But it's like, now it's like, oh, you know, I should swap these out for stainless steel, which hardware is expensive now, but it's like, you know, it's like, which I'm going to, because even though these are black and they look probably better sitting in the crankcase, maybe, or like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know why they did it that way, but I think stainless steel would be better. Just change everything to stainless steel. Okay. So, and now learning, one thing that I realized, and I've done this before, is that I always forget is that these 3 screws right here, you don't actually have to take them off to remove the top end from these 2511s. That's just what holds the crankcase together. Really, it's just these 2 screws back here. So I've relearned something, and now if anybody here puts together a 2511 or needs to take out the top end, you don't need to take out those 3 screws. That's literally just for the crankcase. The only ones that matter are the ones on the backside behind the flywheel. And those are also going to be machine screws. They're all the same size. These are going to be for the oil pump. Okay. Let's see. Do I go into the... Yeah. All right, let's just make sure. So I'm going to drive one in there. Feels to be good. Okay, we're locked in. We're locked in, so it is those machine screws. So when I say machine screw, I know some may already know this, but it's just something that you learn, that I've really learned working at the hardware store. I mean, I've always known the difference between fine thread and coarse thread. So when I say machine screws, I'm talking about the thread. So fine thread opposed to a coarse thread, which is going to be like this here. You probably can't see that. So a lot of the times what I've noticed is anytime going into metal, that's when I started distinguishing where screws go. Anytime you're going into metal, for the most part, it's going to be a machine thread. Anytime going into plastic, it's going to be a coarse thread because it just catches into the plastic a lot better. Same thing like wood screws, sheet metal screws. They use coarse thread for certain different applications. So that's another way you can distinguish what screws go where. If you're going into plastic, there's a good chance it's going to be a coarse thread. If you're going into metal, it's very likely that it's going to be a machine. But again, to know for sure, just start driving it in there and you'll be able to feel it. And there's not a lot of hardware for these, not a lot of screws for these 2511s. It's pretty simple. They really, Echo is another brand saws that I like to work on a lot because it's a true just T27 for literally everything. Pretty much like steel. Mostly T27, although they throw in some T25 in there, and then they might throw in like a T20. But these Echoes, all T27. Everything, every single screw, T27. So, yeah. Husqvarna, on the other hand, I mean, I feel like they just have different I mean, they do have some torques. They might have some hex. They might have, depending on what year it is and how old it is. But you know. Double O says, interesting fact. According to tests, original red Loctite is 15 times tighter than blue one. Damn. I like the red Loctite. I just feel like the blue works really well. I mean, it works good, but the red, I just, you know, it says a lot of it's like the people are like, oh, it's permanent. Like you need, but no, it's just high strength. It is more of a permanent thing, but I don't know. I like using red Loctite, especially on equipment and really anything. The blue, it works. It works good. You know, if you find yourself in a position where it's all you have, definitely use it. It's a good, It's a good option and it's a lot better than nothing, but I like the red. The red is just, it applies better, it has a different consistency, and for chainsaws and other power equipment that has very high vibration levels, I go with the red. But that is an interesting fact though. Val says I'm back. I was washing up. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. So let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see here. But yeah, it's been nice. I mean, the content has been a little slower, but been getting back into the groove just because there's things to work on, and just, and it feels good because you know what, especially doing live streams, because I like hanging out with everybody. I like talking to everybody, interacting. That's how our channel kicked off, was through our live streams. And I've said it before, and what I mean by our channel, I mean like yours and mine. Like, this is a team effort here. It's not just me. You know what I mean? It's a group effort. Because even though I feel like I would still be doing live streams and I would still be, making content or whatever, realistically, in all reality, if I had nobody that looked forward to the content, or it wouldn't be as, I don't know, it just wouldn't be the same. So, and everybody that has stuck through the highs and lows of this channel and everything, you guys are very much appreciated. I mean, I know a lot of people say that, a lot of like quote unquote content creators, they say that, that they appreciate you and that all this and that, and I'm sure they do, but I really do. Like, and it is what it is, Okay, so our top end is in. I would say at this point, we're, I don't know, just about halfway there. And through our live streams and through the journey of social media and content creating, it's so funny to, like, oh, I'm a content creator, or like, I'm just a guy, man, we're just people. I mean, but it's been amazing meeting everybody that I've met, and knowing everybody that I do. It's not a whole crowd of folks, but yeah, it's cool. All right. So from here, I think the next step would be, what I would do is I would put the intake boot on, because when you go to put the handle on, obviously the boot goes through the handle, and then that's where the carburetor obviously mounts onto. But the thing is, the manifold's right there. So when you put the handle on it, you're not going to have access to the manifold there, or to the, so put it on now and save yourself a little having to redo it. And that's just another thing, you live and learn. But any hoozle. Let's see. Double O says, I use green Loctite just because I glue bearings to the crank with it and don't have blue or red. Isn't the green also oil resistant too? There's one that's oil resistant, because I know there's the blue, there's the red, there's the green, and I think there's the purple, but I can't remember which one of the, between the green and the purple, is the oil resistant. I think it's the purple, but it might be the green. I don't know. Okay, so for this, let's see. Then just counting your screws too, like what all do you have, and then what all do you have left. So, and then the size, So I think for this one, it's going to be these little smaller machine screws, and then those are going to be for the oil pump, and then the rest are going to be for rewind starter, the 2 for the carburetor, and oh shoot, the flywheel nut. I'm just realizing, which I do have them. I bought it and then I never, okay, so I need to find that eventually, but we'll worry about that when we get there, which is soon. We got Grant back in the house. It says I made it home and finally can watch for a while. Glad you made it back home safe, my friend. So this is actually a different live stream than the one that you came into earlier. That was just kind of me cleaning up the workbench, and now this is just working on the 2511. So thus far we've gotten to reassembling the handle, so the molding, lockout lever, and then the throttle trigger, linkage, and then putting the switch back in. So I was stumped on how to install the little spring for the lockout lever, but figured it all out. So the handle is all squared away there. Right now we just finished putting in the top end. So now I'm working on putting on the intake boot here. I'm figuring out what screws go there, but it's going to be these little shorter machine screws, because there's really not a whole lot to get through. And then realizing that I don't have the flywheel nut, because I ended up using that for something else, for another 2511, but I do have it. I ordered it earlier this year along with some muffler hardware for Big Bertha, our 661, and that's going to be over here. As I just had said, I'll worry about it when we get there, but let's see. Metering diaphragm, no. Tension springs, those are clutch springs. Okay, so it's not in this bundle of parts. These are all steel parts. Another prime example of why organization is key. Okay, let's just keep moving on. Oh boy. All right, that's all good. The fact that this saw is being worked on is a lot. So, all right. let's see, we got Stefan in the house says, what kind of engine is this for? Chainsaw? Yes. So we're working on a 2511T here. It's an Echo. And just getting it put back together because I had taken it apart because I was going to port the cylinder, but just didn't get to it. But now I just want to have it put together so it's not all in parts, and at least hear it run and use it. Now that I'm at a place where I can use it and run it, and then we can always go back to port it later. But it's gonna have some good stuff on it, at least in my opinion. It's gonna be running a quarter pitch conversion kit and an Egan header pipe, and also gonna do a little timing advance on it. And for now, that's it. So we just finished putting the handle back together as far as like the molding assembly, which is where the lockout trigger goes, lever, throttle trigger, and then the linkage as well, and then put in the on and off switch, and then also the top end, put it back into the casing there, the housing, and then now I'm putting the intake boot on, and then from there it's on to actually installing the handle and the AV, which is the the suspension and all that, and then just install the carburetor, air filter, the Egan header pipe, and then look for the flywheel nut, and then of course the sprocket, the worm gear, the oil pump. So we still have a couple little things to do, but everything else is good. It's all there. And then the coil, which actually, again, just because it's been a while since I've worked on a 2511, so what I should have done is actually put the coil on first and then put in the top end, because the cable goes behind the head. So I need to take out the top end again, and I need to remove the intake boot again. So we're going to take a couple little steps backwards. And this is a 2-stroke, which for my saws, I run VP Racing Fuel, ethanol free. It's a 94 octane, and I also like running AMSOIL Sabre full synthetic, 50-to-1 ratio. But depending on running conditions and pretty much how much you're going to be beating on it, you can always change up the ratio, either go to like a 40-to-1, but I feel like 50-to-1 is pretty good, and especially if you run a good quality oil, then you should be okay, but you could always mess around. So and yes, it is a 2-stroke. I know Blue 243 is oil resistance. I don't know about other. Okay, so maybe it is the blue. There's one specifically where they market it as oil resistant, but let's go ahead. And you know what? Taking a couple steps backwards at this point is not a bad thing, because it just, again, it helps getting refamiliar with the 2511, and then just kind of brushing up. We'll see how the carburetor is on the startup, because Egan's header pipe, man, it really just opens it up, and it's just a bunch of airflow. And when I was trying to tune it that one time, that's when I was still kind of starting off too. Um, I was having a tricky time doing it. So, but now that I have more practice and a little more experience, I think we'll be all right. Okay, so coil time. So basically for here, so it's gonna go in like this. And I thought there was a little piece here that, no, okay. So the best way to do it, I would say at this point, if you want to know how everything goes, you could always put on your flywheel, like so. Move the magnet away. You don't have to worry about setting the gap right now. And then you're just gonna go ahead like so. And I believe where'd that little piece go? Right there. So this is, I think, gonna go on the top. Yeah. So make sure not to lose this little piece, because that sits on top of this little post here, like so. I think there was supposed to be 2 of them. There is. Which I do have another one. I thought it was only supposed to be 1, but it is supposed to be 2. And like I said, it's all slowly coming back. And I ended up using 1, so this one, yeah, there's 2 right here, so sweet. It's good to have extras sometimes. It really is, man, I'm telling you. It really is. Okay. So then this other one goes down here. And for these, it's gonna be this one. I don't think there's any washers that go on these. I think there usually is though. But let me see. And I'll know if it does take washers. Normally they do, but if they're in here, then we do need washers. And that's why, again, it's good to have extras sometimes. And I don't see any washers, so I guess not. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out, where I put, it's gotta be sitting in that box of stuff that I have all mangled up and whatnot. And of course my phone is at 27% now. It's even smaller in your hand. The tiniest product saw it. Yeah, no, really. I mean, in my opinion, the 2511s, once you open them up, as far as, muffler, whether you do a muffler mod on it or you either do the Egan header pipe or West Coast muffler, and then you give it a nice tune, you remove the limiter caps from the carburetor, and then, little timing advance, some saws take better than others, but you know, they rip. They're really good saws. And then if you port them, game over. They're great, in my opinion. My wife is about to arrive home in my car. She loves taking my classic cars. All right, Liam, much love to you. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So these are going to be the longer screws. Going to be these ones, I think. I think. We'll see. Get up. Only... Yep. Or not. Maybe not. Or maybe it is. It should be. Let's see. There you go. Oh. Yep. All right. Ah, my legs are gonna be sunburned, man. Oh. I'm definitely invest in that shade cloth, like Double O was saying, because this is nuts, man. Grant says, "Whoa, Liam, what's all that?" Damn. Telling you guys, man, Liam never misses a beat. Okay. Okay, a little Loctite on this thing. Bada boom, bada bang. I know it's not done yet, but man, I'm excited because you know what? I've missed having this saw running. It's been a long time coming, being able to like work on stuff, like personal projects and stuff like that. What the hell? These little plastic things are just kind of a... I'll probably use an impact, but I don't have my... Why? Just get in there. What the hell, man? Say stupid screw. Okay. Boom. Double O's asking, what spark plugs do you use? Oh, I don't know if it's asking me or Grant, but me personally, I like NGK. That's what I like. Okay, so now wait, what the hell? Did I goof up again? I did. Wow. Well, I think I done goofed up again. What in the world is going on here now? You know what? Maybe I didn't have to take out the cylinder to put the spark plug in. Oh well. All part of the learning process, right? Relearning process. Yeah, I didn't need to take that out. Uh 20% battery, 20% battery remaining. Double O is asking, do you prefer with resistor BPMR7A or without? I always just use the BPMR7As. All right. So I think I've goofed up. I didn't actually have to take out the top end again to put it in because this doesn't actually go across the cylinder like I thought. I'm thinking about the 151 because the 151, it does go through the back and it has like a little mounting thing. So I made a mistake on this. And my phone is at 18% now. So what I'm gonna do is go charge up my phone, eat a little lunch, and then I still have about, right now I have a little over 2 hours before I head out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go charge my phone, eat a little something, and then we'll do a part 2 live stream a little later. As soon as my phone charges up to at least like maybe 80%, which it won't take long because I use a fast charger. And then we'll continue on with the reassembly here. We're almost there. Just you know, like I've said, or like I've been saying, it's been a little over a year since I've worked on a 2511, and I haven't had any come in for any work or anything. So it's just a, you know, relearning process, but we're almost there, man. I mean, it's been going pretty smooth so far. And then before I start the live stream again, I'm gonna look for that flywheel nut. I know I have a brand new one because I ordered it earlier this year along with some other hardware for my 661. So so for now, I think this is it. Well, it has to be because my phone is dying. And then we'll come back, and then part 2 will just basically be a continuation. So basically take off the coil again, reinstall everything, and then just move on from that. And then really all I have left to do is put on the other part of the handle, the AV, the clutch, oil pump, and carburetor, and the pipe, and that's pretty much it, you know. So we're almost there. So anyways, guys, appreciate everybody for being here. Hopefully we'll see you on part 2, which will be, I'm gonna say an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Basically just gonna wait for my phone to charge, and then we'll just keep moving. So let's see. All right, Grant, much love to you, man. Have fun with the videos and all that. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one. And then everybody else, much love to you guys. If we see you on the next one, then we'll see you on the next one. If not, we'll, I guess we'll still either way see you on the next one. So anyways, guys, much love to you guys, and hopefully see you guys soon. All right, laters.